And you ask me what I want this year, and I try to make this kind and clear. Just a chance that maybe we'll find better days.
Chances are you're not having the Christmas you wanted this year. You are probably not occupying the places and the spaces you normally do at this time. Our rituals have been disrupted. There are people we love dearly who are not gathered around the table for numbers of reasons. Our traditions have been put on hold. It feels like Christmas altogether has been canceled. And yes, what we long for are some better days.
'Cause I don't need boxes wrapped in strings and design and love and empty things. Just a chance that maybe we'll find better days.
The promise of some better days. So if it feels to you like Christmas has been canceled, or if it doesn't feel that way, but you just aren't feeling it, you just don't have the Christmas cheer this year, then I invite you this year to enter into a celebration of the coming of the Christ child. Because you know that very first Christmas perfectly coincided with that event. The very first Christmas and the coming of the Lord happened at the very same time. And the people of that time were not waiting for Christmas. They were waiting for a Messiah. They were yearning and longing for a Messiah because they were hoping on, they were counting on someone to come along and bring some better days. Because the days of the time when Jesus was born were pretty rotten. Things were a real mess and life was not good. People were being oppressed. Everyone was overworked and weary. Bigotry and prejudice had just soaked into the fabric of the society. People who were different were being cast out. People were desperate for something in their lives that could bring them more hope and meaning than anything they had yet found. The people who were there on that year of the coming of Christ, they were not counting on a Norman Rockwell painting family gathering, nor were they counting on a sparkly candlelight Christmas carol service. They were not getting ready for an adorable kids pageant about the Christmas story, nor were they anxiously awaiting an invite to a Pinterest perfect cocktail party. The people at that very first Christmas, well, they were desperately seeking a savior.
So take these words and sing out loud, 'cause everyone is forgiven now, 'cause tonight's the night the world begins again.
And here we are, some 2020 Christmases later. People are still being oppressed. Everyone is weary and worn and overworked. Prejudice and bigotry have soaked itself into the very fabric of our society. Those who are different are being cast out. People are yearning for better days, for something to give them hope, for something more. This COVID Christmas of 2020, the people are desperately seeking a savior. We are indeed yearning for better days. Now, Christmas Day will still find us in the middle of a pandemic with people who are out of work, who are sick, who are grieving, who are debilitatingly lonely, and who are just plumb wore out. But tonight is the night the world begins again, if we let it. God came into this world as a poor child born into occupied territory, whose parentage was uncertain and whose life was in danger from the moment he was born. This is the way God chose to make real, to make manifest God's love for us. And if God can burst into history in such an unlikely way, in such an unlikely time and place, then God can burst into our lives right now in 2020, in our grief, in our uncertainty, and in our sorrow. And even if we can't celebrate Christmas, we can welcome the coming of Christ, God with us, Emmanuel. We can let the light of Christ shine in us and through us and begin to dispel the darkness in the world. We can anchor ourselves to the love of Jesus Christ, whom God sent not only for all of us, but for each of us. Christmas may feel canceled, but the coming of Christ cannot be stopped. Christ comes whether we're ready or not, ready to challenge our priorities and our prejudices, ready to usher in the kind of love that brings with it justice and peace. Are you looking for better days ahead? Then take these words and sing them out loud. Christ is born. Tonight is the night the world begins again.